So it's the day of your driving test, or you've got your driving test coming up and you're wondering what's going on. Speak to your instructor, speak to the person who's helping you, so you've got a good idea what's going to happen on the day. If you're not too sure still, keep watching this video and I'm going to try and cover most, if not everything, that's going to happen on the day. So if your test is at, say, 10 o'clock, make sure you get to test centre 5 minutes before the test. Don't suddenly get there at 10 o'clock, because it might be you're not being late. But don't turn up dead early, because you'll be in the way of everyone who's finished the test before you. Bring your provisional licence along. And the other thing would be, bring a bottle of water along, so that if you get a bit of a dry throat, you kind of have a little drink. Eat before you take your test. That's another little thing that'll help you along, because you'll be surprised when you're nervous you're going to burn that much energy up. It'll be unreal. When you go into test centre, if you've got a parking car park for parking bays marked up, you've got to try and reverse. Most test centres ask you to reverse in so you can drive off at the beginning. It all depends on the test centre in your area. I'm sure if you speak to your instructor or your family member, they're going to give you what's going to happen on that part. When you go into test centre, the examiner's going to come out, ask you to call your name out, show me your licence, smile at them, be nice to them. They're only human. And they're going to ask you to sign the the green driving test sheet. It's an A5 size. It's pretty straightforward. You sign the box. At that point, the examiner's going to say to you, would you like your instructor sat in the back of the car on the test? That's what they say. It's up to you. Speak to you whoever's teaching you. Ask him whether you think it's a good thing. You might not want them there, because you might think it's more pressure, more nerves. If you don't want them there, the examiner's going to say to you, would you like him to come at the end for the debrief and sit in the back of the car? Same again, it's your choice. I do suggest at that point, if you haven't got your instructor in the back of the car, have them for the debrief, so they can listen to what the examiner's going to say at the end. When you go outside, you're going to get an eyesight test. The examiner's going to ask you to read a reg plate. Nothing too tricky. They'll pick a reg plate from 20.5 metres away, ask you to read it. After you've read it, you walk to the car, and at this point, you're probably going to get a tell me question, which is, tell me how you check this, tell me how you do this. I'll put a list at the bottom what they are. They're nothing too tricky, but you do need to practice them, otherwise you're going to be fumbling them and making mistakes. When you get in the car, the examiner's going to go walk around the car, make sure it's safe. Nothing to worry about. If you've got a good car, it'll be fine. When you're in the car, it's going to write a few details down. It's going to ask you maybe if you're all right and so on. If at that point everything's fine, don't be surprised if they put a sat-nav on the dashboard, because that's part of the new test. That's going to happen. So they could bring a sat-nav out, plonk it on your dashboard, and it's all pre-programmed, so you haven't got to do anything. The only thing I would say to you is, if you never use a sat-nav, get practicing it, because there's one or two little tweaks that you need to get used to. What sort of things sat-navs tell you to do, how to understand it, and so on. Otherwise, if it's something new on the dashboard, you're going to stare at it, and that's the worst thing you can do. You should be looking at the road. But by all means, practice it, or you could get road signs to follow. So there's no guarantee you're going to get sat-nav. But anyway, if you do get a sat-nav and they put it on the dashboard, like I say, don't worry. It's actually going to be pre-programmed. All you've got to do is listen to it and maybe glance at it every now and then. It could happen straight at the beginning of your driving test, or it could happen partly through the driving test. It lasts for 20 minutes, the sat-nav part of the test, or the road signs part of the test, 20 minutes. So don't be beating yourself up about it. Just practice it. You could get asked to do a manoeuvre straight away. If you've reversed into a parking bay, the examiner might say to you, right, start the engine. When you're ready, I'd like you to drive out of the bay, get yourself parallel to the left or right with wheel straight, and reverse back into a bay. That's your reverse bay part done. That's a manoeuvre done for the driving test. Some people like it to be done like that, out of the way. Once they've done that, they're thinking, all I've got to do is drive. It's easy then. Or they could say to you, right, start the engine, and we're going to follow the sat-nav for the next 20 minutes. So you'll turn the sat-nav on, you follow the sat-nav. Along the way, they might pull you over and do another manoeuvre. It could be a parallel park, or it could be let's park on the right-hand side of the road manoeuvre, or it could be they drive you into a parking bay into a car park and say, I want you to drive into a parking bay and reverse out. So they're the manoeuvres that you're going to cover. So you need to be reasonably okay at them, so you understand what they are. You need to be good at your observations so you can react to things around you. The other thing would be when you are driving along the road, they're going to give you the show me question while you're driving. So you're driving along the road and they could say to you, right, when it's convenient and safe, when it's safe to do so, I want you to show me how the horn works. That's just one example. So don't rush in there, because they might say, as you're slowing down, stop at a junction, and there could be a lot of people there. So I don't think people would appreciate you whacking the horn on when you're next to them. But when you drive along the road, there's nothing problem with that. Okay. Also, they are going to test you on the country roads, dual carriageways, on town centre roads. So be aware of all these things as well. And remember, in the first few minutes, you're probably going to be nervous. That's normal. Don't worry about it. Just concentrate on your driving. Stick to what you know. Don't try and do things differently. When you're driving along, don't worry about the examiner marking little bits on the paper on his green driving test report. He could be just marking the fact that you're doing eco driving, or the fact that he's asked you a question. So it might not be a driver fault that you picked up. If you think you've made a mistake, forget about it. Just chuck it over your shoulder. It's gone and done. You can't change that. But what you can do is drive safely. Okay, good luck with your driving, and I'm hoping this gives you an idea of what to do. Take care and safe driving.